The speaker has indicated that the GAO believes there's about $50 billion in fraud and abuse in Medicaid. What number, if you're looking at fraud and abuse, do Democrats think is okay to cut?
First of all, there's nothing close to $880 billion.
They argue that over the 10-year window, that would add up to 550 some odd billion.
Yeah, they're lying to the American people, but let me defer to Frank Pallone.
We did a report in the Energy and Commerce Committee that was based on these red tape requirements in Georgia and Arkansas, two states that experimented with it. And what we found was that overwhelmingly, hundreds of thousands of people, I think it was 80, 90% of the people that would normally be eligible for Medicaid lost their benefits because of the red tape requirements. And no one, or practically no one, got a job, right? Because the people were already employed who were able to be employed. So this is not a question of numbers, right? I mean, they can make up whatever numbers they want and say, you know, it's going to be 50 billion or 100 billion. Well, I understand that, but what I'm trying to say is what my fear is, and I think maybe that's what you're getting at, is that they're just going to, you know, do these red tape requirements and say, oh, that'll hit up to $880 billion. It won't. It wouldn't be anywhere near there. But I think that what's happening now is they're in total disarray. They don't know what to do. They know they can't reach these numbers, and so they're probably going to say, oh, we'll have all this red tape, and somehow that's going to reach the number. But it's not. And the only thing that it's going to do is to make sure that most people who are eligible for Medicaid don't get it and lose their health insurance.
That's right. Brendan?
Yeah. So, Chad, just if I might, because this came up in our 12-hour Budget Committee markup, and after this, my staff will provide you with the details. GAO later did a revision of that GAO report, the initial report, and they revised that number significantly downward. They also said that this should not be, it's a little bit contradictory on their part, but they said this should not be interpreted as a definitive figure. But again, happy to provide those details because I know the Republican side kept quoting that $500 billion figure over 10 years, but even GAO is not standing by that.
Question also has to be asked, why are House Republicans jumping through hoops to try to cut Medicaid, the health care of the American people, and cut nutritional assistance? It's all in service of enacting massive tax breaks for their billionaire MAGA donors like Elon Musk. The simple approach here, mathematically, is just to eliminate the tax breaks that you're trying to enact as it relates to your extreme MAGA Republican donors. And then you don't have to consider cutting Medicaid. You don't have to consider cutting SNAP. You don't have to consider cutting educational or housing benefits that the American people have earned and have come to rely upon. This is all being done in service of rewarding their donors like Elon Musk. And it is unacceptable. And Republicans can't explain that rationally to the American people. And so as a result, they go to old reliable waste, fraud, and abuse. Of course, Democrats are open in every instance to try to make sure that the federal government is effective, efficient, and equitable. And to the extent that there's waste that can be found in any program, we're open to that in good faith. There is nothing close to $880 billion in waste, fraud, and abuse as it relates to Medicaid. There is nothing close to $230 billion as it relates to the Supplemental Nutritional Assistance Program. It's all phony. And it's all designed to try to justify massive tax breaks for the wealthy, well-off, and well-connected billionaire donors of the Republicans. And that's something that the American people have made clear they reject.